Breaking news, Gavin Newsom vetoes a bill that would have taken away children from parents who aren't, quote, woke enough on LGBTQ issues. Coming up, I'll tell you whether he's had a change of heart or whether he's just trying to pull a big scam over on California voters. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and you may have heard the news late Friday night last week and through the weekend. Gavin Newsom vetoes a bill that would have taken children away from parents in custody disputes and divorces if one of the parents was not woke enough, not pro-LGBTQ in their points of view. Here is the Fox News story I want to share with you. Newsom vetoes bill that would require parents to, quote, affirm child's gender identity in custody battles. It's a bill by Assemblywoman Lori Wilson. And it was Assembly Bill 957. And this is one of the bills that we had opposed at Reform California. We were citing a lot of concerns about it. In a nutshell, Assembly Bill 957 would tell judges in divorce court where there's a child custody dispute that the judge shall consider parents' points of view on LGBT issues, even if the child is not LGBT. Because the argument could be that, hey, the child may not be LGBT today, but in the future, the child may be LGBT. So we should give custody to the parent who's pro what? Pro sex change surgery. That's literally what the author of the bill is concerned about. The author says that when a child starts perhaps questioning their gender identity, that the parent should 100% support any sort of hormone therapy or surgery, even if the child is under the age of 18. Now, this is absurd. It is insane. Children should be allowed to grow up without making any life-altering decisions all at once. In fact, all the stats show that 80% of children who at a young age question their gender identity go on to resolve that question in favor of their biological gender. Only 20% decide to transition. And so the appropriate, mature, adult thing, proper thing to do is when a child starts exploring their gender identity is to say, hey, okay, we're here to support you. We love you no matter what, but we're not going to make any rash changes. And parents, sane parents, normal parents, parents who love their kids no matter what, they're going to say, look, we need to take our time. Assembly Bill 957 would actually be encouraging child abuse. A parent would have to affirm that they would allow a child to make the life-altering decision of a surgery or gender hormone therapy at an early age. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, so Newsom vetoes this bill, and the LGBT caucus is upset. Here is a statement they put out. This is the LGBT members of the state Senate and state assembly members. Quote, the veto of AB 957, LGBT caucus endorsed bill, is a profound disappointment. Blah, 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 blah. Now, do they call out Gavin Newsom here? No. The closest they get to criticizing him in a vicious way and in a tough way is when they say, quote, divorces are difficult enough. Adding the fear of being placed with a parent that does not respect their authentic self is simply cruel. Well, hold on a minute. That's not against Newsom. That's against, the court. It's against the situation, but it's not about Newsom. What do they say about Newsom? This veto, again, not using Newsom's name, is a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. Wait a minute. On the one hand, they're saying it's cruel. On the other hand, they're saying the governor's veto, or the veto, because apparently they don't mention even the fact that the governor did it, can't possibly upset Governor Gavin Newsom. I wonder who's tiptoeing around who here. It's a missed opportunity. Now, anyone who opposed this bill was told by the media and the Democrats that they were homophobic, that they were anti-LGBTQ. that they were hateful. Anyone who opposes AB 957, if they're a Republican or a parent, they're hateful. Even the LGBTQ caucus would say anyone who votes against it is hateful or homophobic. What happened here? Nothing. There was no attack against Newsom. There was no calling him hateful or homophobic. You notice the double standard here, right? That's right. Because these people are not consistent. They're hypocrites. They all tiptoe around Gavin Newsom because he's pretty boy Newsom. They need to take care of him. He's running for president, more on that in a minute. But they don't want to subject him to the same treatment that they would subject any of their Republican opponents. You might even say they're partisan. They are. Now, what they immediately did is they put out this statement saying, we are thrilled that 6 of our priority bills and 2 of our endorsed bills were signed into law today. These bills protect blah, 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 blah. So here are the 6 bills that Newsom signed into law. AB 5, Safe and Supporting Schools Act. It would require that teachers have to do 4 hours of training on pro-LGBT issues every 3 years. Not that they have to get training on dealing with active shooter situations, or they have to get training on how to overcome the learning deficits from COVID or all these other education issues. No. We got to put them in training for 4 hours every 3 years on what? LGBT issues. It's called the golden rule: live and let live, move on. But no. They have an agenda to advance with these children. That's the AB 5. Newsom signed it. AB 223 would allow for, they call it the Transgender Youth Privacy Act. Anyone who changes their name and their gender in court as a minor, that record would be sealed. Okay. Assembly Bill 994, law enforcement and social media. What this says is that criminals have the right to their personal pronouns. I'm not joking about that. That's basically what the law says. It says that when police or a sheriff's department post a photo of a criminal on social media, they must use that criminal's proper personal pronouns, whichever personal pronouns that criminal would like to use. They're a criminal. They've been arrested for a crime. Seriously, you're worried about hurting their feelings? What about the crime victims? Senate Bill 372, it's called the Respect for Names Act. It says that if someone changes their name, a state agency shall also change the name on every license that they have, every professional certification that they have, and that they shall not refer to the prior name. Now, you might say, well, what's wrong with that, Carl? If they change their name, their gender, live and let live. I would agree, but the proposed law that Newsom signed into effect goes farther than that. It basically says that if there's any discipline actions under the name or the gender of the former person, the former gender or name of the person, that shall no longer be listed. They'll just simply say that the person was subject to enforcement and to contact the agency. Whereas in the prior protocol, prior to this law, the person's name would include all the enforcement actions taken against them. Boy, that sounds dangerous. It almost sounds as though if you want to cover up some bad behavior, all you have to do is change your gender, change your name, and it makes it harder for people to figure out exactly what you did wrong. The next bill, SB 407, foster youth protections. This is awful. This is terrible. A bill by Senator Scott Wiener, who I call him the patron saint of sex predators because everything he seems to do benefits them. His bill would bar a foster parent from being considered a foster parent in the state of California if they don't affirm to support gender-bending surgery and hormone therapy for LGBT kids at a young minor age. So in other words, at a time when we are lacking foster parents, we don't have enough foster parents, we're basically saying, nope, you're not eligible to take a kid in because they may be LGBT and they may want to change their gender down the line. Absurd. And then finally, Senate Bill 857, LGBT Education Task Force. Think of it as a reparations task force, but for the gays. It would basically require this government bureaucracy be created to study ways to get more LGBT topics in the classroom. Absurd. Again, 2/3 of students are failing math proficiencies in California, but this is the garbage that they're focused on. So what are we going to do? First, let's expose Gavin Newsom for what's really happening here. Gavin Newsom is indeed trying to run for president. And he's trying to pretend like he is a moderate by vetoing a few bills. But you saw those bills that he just signed into law. He's just trying to take one high-profile one and grandstand on it. Again, I'm grateful that the bill is not going to become law, but look at all the other crap that he signed in. That's why we believe that this is nothing more than a precursor to him running for president next year. And we want to be ready at Reform California. We want to expose his hypocrisy and the bad bills that he does sign. Go to exposegavinnewsom.com. That's exposegavinnewsom.com. Help us with our campaign. Chip in a contribution. We also have an article up there, 7 reasons why Newsom would be a terrible president. No, I do not believe that Newsom has turned over a new leaf. This guy simply wanted to do something symbolic, but he then went ahead and signed a bunch of other crazy bills, and he's going to sign a bunch more crazy bills before this legislative session is up. Help us out in exposing Newsom's game here. Like this video and subscribe to this channel so you get updates. But liking the video and commenting on the video and sharing it with friends helps us get past the censorship of the liberal media and get the truth out there. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.